Hey, hello everyone. Good evening. And I'm sure you all are able to hear me. Let me quickly check with you on whether you're able to hear me or not by putting a poll question. Are you able to hear me? Yes or a no? Let us see. Yeah, go for it. Are you able to hear me? Can you please answer? Okay, wonderful. So, friends, where can you watch the sessions of yesterday and day before yesterday? Here we go. Here is the link URL. I'm giving you that. We will put thumbnails on this. Our team members will do it so that it's easier for you. I'm also posting the link here. All you need to do is click on that. It is also available on the sticky note. And please, because a lot of you all are reaching out to me saying that you aren't able to see the videos. Okay. We are going to make these videos public. Okay. But then please click on the subscribe option so that all the future videos, today, tomorrow, and day after videos are provided to you. Please, can you all do that? I will give you a quick 1 minute, and then as soon as you subscribe, can you please respond back to me on the chat window on whether you have subscribed or not, so that it's easier for us, because otherwise you might keep asking us questions on where is the video, we want access to that, and things of that kind. I request you all to please click on subscribe, friends. There is no attendance as such. Okay, on the last day we will give you. Can you all please click on subscribe and confirm me so that I can move on? Please, friends, quickly do that. I would be, tracking the count here from my side. And if there is an increase in the count, that means you're subscribing. Please, can you do it? Everyone? Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you all so much. Again, I'm sharing the link if you want. This is the number one thing. And number two, a few of you all were asking for some career guidance on, how do we scale up in the space of machine learning and in the space of data science, artificial intelligence. How is Python programming going to be helpful? So I have shared the link. Please connect with me on LinkedIn by clicking on that link. Okay, please connect with me on LinkedIn so that it's helpful for everyone. Uh, okay, all right. I'm sure you all have subscribed. I'm sure you all have, connected with me on LinkedIn. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Having said that, let's continue with the session. Okay, so we have covered a lot of ground in terms of understanding the basics of Python programming. And we also plan to conduct an advanced version of Python programming. We'll do that eventually. Yeah. So we discussed about a lot of things, such as this was day one, declaring the variables, right? Until here, we could cover. And then day two started. As part of day two, I'll put it as bunch of comments put together, yeah, or bunch of lines of string put together. We discussed about strings. We discussed about strings in terms of concatenation. We discussed about the various methods which we have. We discussed about the function called input. Then we discussed about string interpolation. We discussed about string indexing. and slicing. Then we discussed about various slicing, and then we discussed about a few of the booleans. And today we are going to move forward. Okay, so this is how we covered the session. Oh, come on. Yeah, all these things were discussed. We looked at day 2, string syntax, displaying the strings onto the console. Then string data manipulation techniques for machine learning, especially for text mining. It comes in handy. And tomorrow and day after, we will be spending some time on how do you use Python for data science. Python for data science and machine learning. Of course, machine learning is a part of data science, but since a lot of people connect to this, I am mentioning about this as well. All right. Then we have typecasting, input function, indexing, booleans, right? And here is where we stop. Conditionals. These are all called as conditionals. So let me also put a comment there that we've also discussed about conditionals. And today we are expected to discuss about um, the loops which we have, okay, and also a few of the conditionals. We are first going to discuss about, or I would rather say, comparison operators. Yeah, this is a not name for this because conditionals mean something else. Okay, so I want to have the right nomenclature. When it comes to conditionals, you have a loop called as if loop, or I would not say loop. While is a loop. This is a conditional statement. How would a conditional statement be used? Right. There are a lot of conditional statements which exist. One is if. So there are a lot of keywords that one should be aware of. If is one thing. Else if is another thing. Then we have else. We are going to discuss about these in detail. Remember one thing, whatever be the condition that you provide, say age is less than 18, you have to end this with a colon. The colon indicates that the if clause is completed. Very important. If clause is completed, that is the meaning of having a colon here. And then indentation is very, very important. Indentation. What do you mean by indentation? Okay. You all must have worked on Word documents, right? If you haven't worked on Microsoft Word, let me open that and show you something interesting here. Indentation, basically, that is what I'm going to discuss, right? Hi. When you enter, the line alignment is exactly here, but here you see an option called indent, increase the indent. When you click on that, the arrow moves here. It is similar to a tab. When you press the tab key on your keyboard, right? And then you start typing here. Cited to attend programming. So this space that you see here is indentation. Whenever you have conditional statements or loops that we write, indentation is extremely important. So the moment you press enter, Python will automatically adjust the indentation for you, and it automatically gives the space. Do you know what? By default, Python gives 4 spaces. Okay, I can show you that, for instance. So if I'm here, if I click on enter, it goes there. So I'll just type something here. I'm going to type as print you are a minor. Okay, say I printed this. I again click on enter. If I go back, if I go back here, in order to reach this level of indentation, I need to press space bar 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 spaces, and then you get here. But the good part is you need not worry. You can also use the tab on your keyboard. On the keyboard, you will see an option called tab. Okay, underneath your numbers, you'll have 1, 2 on your keyboard. Here you'll have a tilde, and just underneath that, you'll see a tab key. You press that, and that would automatically take this. Or use your space bar 4 times. Okay, both of these will arrange that indentation for you. All right. Is this important? Absolutely. Otherwise, you'll start getting errors. So let me select these two. And one more very important thing is here, if you just have your mouse cursor placed on this line and click on run, it would throw an error. You need to select both the lines and then run the code. Okay, it says age is not defined basically. So we can certainly define the age here and then take it further, right? So this is just, I mean, for the sake of showing this, I'm showing you. Okay, but ideally what you do is you define your variable. Say I say that age is 20. This you can run it as is. Now say you want to use a function or conditional statement, which is if age is greater than or equal to 18 and if the age is less than 21 colon. Colon means what? This conditional, if conditional statement, you want to stop it. After stopping it, what do you want to do? Say you want to print. Okay, why did it take here? Why is it not going there? Because I haven't placed a colon. After you place a colon, Python will understand that, okay, the if statement is stopped and automatically it places the indentation. Now you can say print and vote. You can place whatever is in the brackets in print either in single quotes or in double quotes. Doesn't matter. Okay. Now, if I just highlight this portion and run, it will throw an error. Okay. Oh, sorry. Actually, we run this, right? So that's the reason why it's not running because we defined this. Sorry, my bad. Okay. So age is 20 is already defined here. Okay. And hence, when you have run this, it didn't throw an error. But if you certainly select only this line, the if loop, it will throw an error. If you're at the end and if you run, it doesn't throw error. So it's just saying that age is 20 and you know for a fact that age lies in between 18 to 21. So you can vote. Next, and I have nested conditionals. If loop, within that can I have another if conditional statement. So I'll have if conditional statement. And within that, I'm going to have another if conditional statement. If I were to type in this way, if only if I put a colon, it says, okay, stop there. And then say you want to print that you can vote. Okay. Enter. And if you want to write another conditional statement here, then you have to start at the indentation only. You cannot go here. You shouldn't start from there. So we are going to start from here. Best practices. If age is greater than or equal to 21, again colon means stops. Here also again when you look at indentation, it will start from here. Print. You can also put in single quotes. I'll put in single quotes. Can gamble. This person can gamble. So now you can run this. Okay. It says can vote, can gamble. If you select this entire portion and run, it's giving you can vote. Why can vote? Because the age that is taken here is 20. If you change this to age equal to 25, and when you run this piece of code, what would happen when you run this? It will take 25, and then why do you need to select all the lines together and run it? Otherwise, if I select this and then run it, it just prints this part. If I select only this and then run it, it says can gamble. But then if I want the if conditional statements to come into effect, then I need to select those lines and run. Okay, it says can vote, can gamble. But then let me select age equal to 25. And here, why is it taking both? Because 25 is a number which is certainly greater than 21, but it is also greater than 18. There we go. Okay, it is satisfying both the conditions. Now, you can also come up with a lot of other interesting ways of writing these kind of conditionals. But then what we will do is we will move on to if else. So what did we just discuss? We discussed if conditional. Okay, we have also discussed about nested if, conditional. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about if else conditional. The only thing is you write it in a slightly different manner. So let us get started. If I were to say that age is 5, I'm just defining a variable. I'm just taking age equal to 5. And then if you say if age is less than or equal to 15, colon, always the best practice is that you give space in that way. Okay, even if you don't give, it doesn't throw error, but that's a best practice. So you want to print that probably this person is school going. Okay, less than or equal to 15. Now here, when you want else if, you have to come back. Else if age is less than or equal to 17, print plus 2. Again, else if age is less than or equal to 21, print graduation. And when you say else, you stop. Else print as graduation. Else job seeker. I mean, if you want to run this, you need to select entire stuff and then you need to run it at one go. Okay. Okay. I think I've jumped the guns, right? I'm giving you a lot of nested stuff. So let me do one thing. Let me start off with a smaller statement. So I'm going to define age as 20. If age is less than 18, then print, indentation is important, cannot vote, else print can vote. Okay, first let me complete this and then I'll go to the next part. Okay, I just jumped the guns. So let me first explain this. So if age is 20, you define that, then you run it through. So here what will happen is if age is less than 18, print this, else print this. So here age is 20, which is not less than 18. So it is supposed to print the second print statement, which is can vote. There we go, can vote. So if else statements, right? But then here you have only two conditions. You have two conditions. If this, else this. If you have more than two conditions, such as in this scenario, you have more than two conditions. When you have more than two conditions, greater than two conditions, you bring in an additional statement here or a clause which is else if. ELIF is a shortcut for else if. Okay, it is not in isolation. Okay, remember that. All right, then if you say age is 5, obviously age is less than or equal to 15, so it's going to print school. Let me run this. It has printed school. If I change this age to maybe 16, it's in between 15 and 17, so it's going to print +2, right? If you choose this value to be 20, this 20 is in between 17 and 21. Okay, so it's greater than 17 and less than 21. That is what I mean. If it is not less than 17, so it is greater than 17 and it's less than 21, so this would be printed. Let me run this. Graduation. And if you give a number which is greater than 21, it is going to take the last value, which is job seeker. I'm going to save this. Then we have to also discuss about loops. Loops are extremely important within Python. And there is one most important loop that people most often discuss about, and that is while loop. Okay, I'm so fond of this that I keep interchangeably using the terms conditional and loop. That's okay. That happens. Okay, here there are three key components of any loop, okay, or most of the loops. Number one is start of the loop. Number two is end of the loop. And number three is increment between numbers in the loop. You have to define the start, you have to define the end, and then you also have to define the increment. Okay, so what do you mean by that? All right, I'll explain. So I would say I equal to 1. Usually why people start with this, because you're defining the start. Why do they use I? Because I stands for increment, hence people use it. You can use any number, doesn't matter. Why do people keep using I? Because I stands for increment. That's the reason. When you're writing a while loop, you're going to say I less than or equal to 10 colon print I, and then here I plus equal to 1. What do you mean by I plus equal to 1? I equal to I plus 1. I plus equal to 1 means I equal to I plus 1. Okay, that is what it means. All right. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to run this. What would this do? Let me run and then we will understand this on what this function exactly does. All right. So what has happened is you have, okay, here you have the start of the loop which you have defined. Okay, the loop is starting here, or let me put it in this way. Okay, so I equal to 1, you're initializing the variable. First of all, the loop needs to be initialized with a variable. And why do we call this as variable? So one thing is you are initializing the variable. Why is it called as variable and not a constant? Because it doesn't remain the same. Constant means something which constantly remains the same. Variable means something which keeps changing. So hence we call this as variable. Throughout the loop, the value of this I keeps on changing. Okay, so we are starting with I equal to 1, initialize. Good. Now you set up the while loop. You set up the while loop. In this while loop, you're using this keyword called while. After the variable comes, after the variable comes the condition that must be met for the loop to run. Okay, so you define the variable and then here you have used the keyboard. After the keyboard, you have a variable. After this variable, you're putting a condition less than or equal to 10. Okay, here in general, whenever you have a condition should have some way to stop. It cannot continuously keep going on and on. It should stop somewhere. Okay, for example, when counting this, uh, the condition usually has a limit. Okay, that's very important. Then you are writing your loop. You're giving instructions. This is called as instruction. Very important because people find it very hard to write these things when we have lengthy code. Okay, they're like, oh my god, what's happening? So let's focus. So first you initialize a variable, then you set the while loop. After the while loop, you have a variable and the condition, and then you're giving an instruction on what has to be done now. Instruction is the indented lines. After this colon, you have indented lines. Okay, for the instruction. You can use anything. Here we are trying to print out. Here we are trying to print the numbers. And then finally, there is an increment. I equal to I plus 1. The shorthand version of this is I plus equal to 1. Both are the same. Both mean the same. I plus equal to 1 or I equal to I plus 1 would give you the same results. Okay. So this is how you define, and when we run it, I is 1. Is it less than or equal to 10? Yes. So print 1. After printing it, you say I equal to I plus 1, meaning I equal to, initially it was 1, so 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. It will take 2. It will go back to this. 2. Is 2 less than or equal to 10? Yes, it is less than or equal to 10. So you print 2. And then here you go back and you say I equal to I plus 1 and I is 2. So 2 plus 1 is 3. So again you go back with 3 here. Is 3 less than or equal to 10? Yes. So print that 3. You printed 3. Then you take that and increment that 3 by 1. So you will get 4. 4 less than or equal to this? Yes, less than 4 is less than or equal to 10. So you print it. Then go back. Again, you increment it by 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. Go back. 5, is it less than or equal to 10? Yes, print it. Then increment it. So in that way, until you reach 10. After 10, you come out of the loop because only until less than or equal to 10, you need to run this loop. After 10, what happens? I equal to I plus 1, wherein it becomes 10 plus 1, 11. You go back here. Is 11 less than or equal to 10? No. So your loop stops. Sometimes by mistake, you might not give any break in the loop. For example, if I say, simply put, x equal to, I mean, you can take any example for that case. Let me give an example. I am going to say x equal to, say 5, just like that. While your x value is less than or equal to 10, if I say print your x, I'm starting with x equal to 5. While x is less than or equal to 10, you keep printing. Instead of I am taking x, that's it. Now, what do you think will be the output? If I run this, it would run into infinite loop. Let me show you. Look at that, 5. It will never stop. This operation here, the red symbol means an operation is going on. This is called as infinite loop. What do you mean by infinite loop? The loop never ends because x equal to 5 is 5 less than or equal to 10? Yes. So print x is 5. Again it goes back. Again x is equal to 5. Less than or is it less than or equal to 10? Yes. So print 5. Keep continuing in that way until there is no break. You haven't given a break here. And the break is extremely important. Okay. So we will also discuss about that. So here, how do I stop it now? You just need to click on this and it stops, right? Keyboard interruption. And you all know that if I press Control and L on the keyboard, console will clear all the values. So how do I make it a meaningful, loop? I would say x is equal to x plus 5. That is what it means. So now if I were to run, there you go. Why did it stop now? Why did it didn't stop? I just added this because x equal to 5. Is 5 less than or equal to 10? Yes. So print it. You print it. Then you increment it. So this is nothing but x equal to x plus 5. Earlier x was 5. 5 plus 5 will give you 10. So you go with x equal to 10 to this. Is 10 less than or equal to 10? Yes. So print it out. Print that 10. And then increment again x equal to x plus 5. X equal to 10. And 10 plus 5 would be 15. Initially x was 5. So you put this 5 here. 5 plus 5 is 10. Now x value is 10. So you put x equal to 10 here. 10 plus 5 is 15. Is now you go back to your while loop. Is 15 less than or equal to 10? No. So you have to stop. Come out of the loop. Either you break it in this way or you manually give a special keyword in Python which is called as break. This break is a special keyword in Python. So say x equal to 40. Well, x is less than or equal to 100 is equal to 1. If x modulus of 70 is equal to 0, meaning if you divide x value with 17, is the remainder 0? If the remainder is 0, then you're saying print. What do you want to print? Print that number, comma, x, comma, okay. And you can say that is the first number greater than 40, that is divisible by 70. Okay. I'll run this and then explain to you guys. And then you're saying break. First, let us understand what this loop is doing and then what would happen if there was no break. Okay, let us understand that part. All right. Here, you're initializing x equal to 40. Then you check here in your while loop on is 40 less than or equal to 100? Yes, it is less than or equal to 100. Then you go here, you increment the x value, okay, to 41 kind of. But then there is another loop. What are you doing here? You are trying to combine the while loop with if conditional statement. The good part is all these kind of loops and conditional statements can be combined together. and you can make use of that. So here you're saying x. If I divide that, say initially it is 40, you go to while loop. Is 40 less than or equal to 100? Yes. Then proceed further. You increment. You increment in the sense x equal to x plus 1. So this x becomes 41 next. Just bear that in mind. Now let's come here. So 40, the same x, 40, if you divide it by 17, is the remainder 0? If yes, you print this and break it. If not, you go back to your while loop. Then next x is 41. Is 41 less than or equal to 100? Yes. Then increment x equal to x plus 1. So this time x becomes 42. Then go here. If x 40, 41 first, right? If 41 divided by 17, is it equal to 0? If the answer is no, you go back to the while loop again. Okay, but this time x value will be 42. So you take 42. Is that 42 less than or equal to 100? Yes. Here you increment the x value to 43 now, but take the same 42 and divide it by 17. Are you going to get 0? If yes, you break, print and break. If no, go back. Keep doing it. And the moment you find a number which is divisible by 17 and gives a remainder 0, you stop. So if I select only until here, if I do not break it, then what happens is the loop doesn't get broken. It will keep continuing until you reach 100. Until this condition is satisfied, until the values of x are less than or equal to 100, you keep continuing. Okay, so it continues from 40 until 100. There are three numbers which are divisible by 17, which is 51, 68, and 17. These are the three numbers which are divisible by 17. So 51 is the first number which is greater than 40, that is divisible by 17. It should have stopped here. It did not stop because you haven't included break. If you include break and if you then run it, the moment it completes it gets hold of the first value, which if divided by 17 gives you 0 as a remainder, you print and break. If you do not include break, it will continue this loop continuously until the condition is met. The condition reaches its maximum point. Okay, this is exactly what we do. Now, there is yet another loop. While loop is one thing, and we also have something called as for loop. So we have conditionals, such as if, else, else if, right? If else, and then else if. You can have multiple. If you have two conditions, you just use if else. If you have more than two conditions, you use else if also. And then we have on another side loops. In loops, You have while loop, which we have already discussed, and now we are discussing about for loop. Let us get into the for loop and understand in a better manner. Okay, this is pretty simple. For loops are very simple. If I say for I in India, okay, print I. So what it does is for I in India means it will go to the first character, it will print it. I is just a variable which gets incremented. Okay, then for I in N, it will print. For I in D, for I in I, for I in A, it will keep printing the values. So let me select this and let me run it. There we go. I, N, D, I, A. Complete loop. For I in 1, I in 2, 3, 4, 5, print everything. Okay. Within this for loop, you can give a lot of additional arguments kind of. You can print a range of numbers. With for loop, you can do many things. Okay. If you just say for I in range of 1 comma 10 and colon. And if I say print I, then the numbers would be printed from 1 until from 1 until this is a question. Okay, let me ask this question to you guys. If I type this, then what would happen? Let's see how many of y'all will get it right. If I say for I in range of 1 to 10, and then if I say print I, what do you think will happen? What numbers from 1 to 10 will get printed? And second thing is numbers from 1 to 9 will get printed. Please take this poll. Let us see how many of y'all will get it right. Ah, interesting. You all remember that. Good, good. Wonderful. So, yep, you can run it. Even before that, I have another question for y'all. Do you think that we should be giving you all some exercises to practice? And let me ask this question here. Do you want exercises to practice the programming, all these concepts that we are doing? Yes or a no? Or do you think the videos will suffice? Oh, wow. Okay. So you all are, at least 97% of people are saying we need exercises to practice. All right. What do we do then? How do we give you? Okay. I can do two things right away. I will do that. We are going to tonight by maybe 10:30 or 11, because we have a few more engagements. By 10:30 or 11 today, we will be posting exercise questions for you all to practice, right? By 10:30 or 11. So let's make it by 11 p.m. Okay, but where do we post? Okay, let me do one thing. Let us post on two places. We will post on Facebook and LinkedIn. You can answer on the comments. Okay, there'll be comments available. You can provide your answers on the comments. Okay, so we'll give you a few exercises to practice, but then you need to know what are your pages, where will you post, right? So let me go here. Let me go here. Okay, let me only take so much And guys, please click on follow, because when we post, you will come to know. Okay, you will come to know. Please click on this. Quickly, let me close it because we need to complete a few things. Let me post it here. Please go for it. On the last day, we will give you. So you all need practice questions. This is one thing. Okay, you also need Facebook. Yeah, we shall do it, Anjani Kumar. But for now, I think we can do this. Onkar, what we shall do is I'll see how to share it with you. And we also have Facebook. We'll also post it on Facebook, friends. Okay. On Facebook also we will do it. Our friend has posted both of these. I'm also going to post. Come on, friends, not WhatsApp. WhatsApp, let's not use for this purpose. The reason being, we cannot accommodate more than 250 people in WhatsApp. Number one thing. Number two, if you answer, let other people also learn, right? Otherwise, it'll become too much of overhead for us. That's the reason. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. We'll be posting on both Facebook and LinkedIn, both the forums. Next, um, we will have to also do this. For I in range of 1 to 9 with an increment of 2 and print I, what happens? So whenever you give a range in this way, even before that, I have one more small thing to show you. For I in range of 10, and if you say print of I, what happens? If I were to run this, when I ran this part, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until 9. A few of you all told until 10. That's wrong. Until 9. Okay. However, I mean, what does that mean? The last number is ignored. That's the point that we have been discussing, right? Indexing in Python, indexing in Python starts from 0. This is one thing. And whenever you have such numbers or 0:3, 0:4, something on those lines, this last number is ignored. These are the two special things about Python. Okay. Now here, if I run this, it would print all the numbers. Okay, 10 numbers, including 0, because index in Python starts from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, until you have 10 numbers. You have all these. If you count, they will be 10 because you also have 0 listed down here. The next thing is for I in range of 1 to 9 comma 2. This 1 is the starting number, 9 is the ending number, 2 is an increment. I is the start, 9 is end, 2 is increment. So first number, if it is 1, what will be the next number? 1 plus 2. So if I were to run it, first number will be 1 because you're going to start from that. And next you increment it by 2, so you'll get 3. So you print 3. Now 3 you increment it by 2, you'll get 5. 5 you increment it by 2, you get 7. And your loop stops. Because when you increment 7 by 2, you get 9. But you know what? The last number is ignored, right? If you type from 1 to, if you print from 1 to 10 in this way, number 10 is ignored. 1 to 9, number 9 is ignored. Okay, that's why it stops here, because 7 plus 2, 7 if you increment by 2, you get 9. But this 9, the last number is ignored. Okay. Can I also print the numbers in the reverse order? Because yesterday we also discussed that we can print the numbers in the reverse sequence. So for I in range of starting value, ending value, and if I say 1, I want to increase it by increment 1. Your Python doesn't print anything. Why? Because the condition doesn't satisfy. This is the start, this is the end. If you increment 3 by 1, it'll be 4. But then you're saying this end is 0. So it doesn't work. I mean, your Python doesn't understand the logic that you have written. If I just put a minus sign, then what it does is it is going to take the numbers from 3 until 0, 3, 2, 1, 0, and it will start printing in descending order. I mean, minus 1. First 3, 3 minus 1 is 2. And then it will go to 2. 2 minus 1 is 1 in that way. This 0 will not get printed because the last number is ignored. Okay, so let me run it. If I were to run it, you'll be able to see the answer. Look at that, 3, 2, and 1. Then if I say name, I can just give my name. Not that I like my name, but it's easier, right? If I say for I in range of 4, then I'm going to write nested loop. Okay, I'm writing nested loop. Loop within the loop is called as nested loop. Print I in name. Okay, so what does it do? It will take this name, it will get initialized. Then for I in range of 4, when you just run this range of 4, you'll get what? 0, 1, 2, 3. Numbers will get printed. What will get printed? 0, 1, 2, 3. The last number is ignored. Then what happens? 0 is index number 0. So if you take my name, Bharani, this is index number 0. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Index numbers. So you want 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. For I in name, if I is 0, then I in name. So 0 in this name will be B. Print it. Then you go to 1. I is 1. 1 in name is 1 in this name is H. That gets printed. Then 2. For 2 in name means what is the index number 2, which is A. A gets printed. So B, H, A until now. Then 3. For I, so that is 3 in name. 3 is this R. So you go there and print R. This is how the loop is going to work. So let me run this. Okay. Oh, sorry, my bad. I actually screwed it up big time. Sorry, my bad. So here, the range doesn't work that way. My bad, my bad. So sorry for that. I'll change this to range in 2 so that it's easier for you to understand. I take back everything. So what it does is, my bad. Here we didn't give any definition, right? Sorry. So since you haven't defined any start and end and condition, sorry, it's a for loop. I was thinking about if also I'll explain, but that's fine. So here, what it will do is it is going to take your name and your entire name would get printed 2 times, range in 2 for I in range 2. My bad. Let me run it. So it's taking all of those Bharani and it's printing twice, Bharani. Okay, the entire name. Okay, one final thing, and then we would stop. So here, for number in range of, if you take 10 until 100, okay, if I put colon, if the number, if I divide it by 2 and if I get 0, then I would say, okay, continue further. If number, if I divide it by 3 and if I get 0, continue. And then if number, if I divide it by 5, if the remainder is 0, continue. If I keep doing in this way, you would get bunch of prime numbers. You can do all these kind of interesting analysis. Okay, if I were to run this in between 10 to 100, okay, those numbers which are divisible by 2, 3 and 5 will not appear. Look at that. So you have 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, so on and so forth. These are the numbers which are not divisible by 2, not divisible by 3, not divisible by 5. If a number is divided by 2, if you get 0 as remainder, only then proceed further. If it's divisible by 0, then continue. If it's divisible by 5, then continue. And then finally print out the number if it is not divisible by any of these. If it doesn't give 0, then that is the number that you want to print out. Okay, so I will stop here. One of a friend was asking this code. What we shall do is I'm going to place this in a Word document, and we are going to put this Word document link on social media. Okay, please look at our social media, and we're going to post the link of this on our social media. So please go there and fetch this. Okay, and once again, quickly before I wind it up, here is our YouTube channel. Okay, here we have our Facebook and LinkedIn details. We anyways posted that. Yeah, thank you all so much. We will connect again tomorrow and take it further. Thank you all.